The stimulants are the nervous system enhancers. They make an individual feel wakeful, alert, and very active. It also makes an individual feel very excited during a period of time or a prolonged period of time, unless the individual is in the effect of the drug. Now, generally, people say that stimulants, they don't make an individual get or make an individual have any kind of withdrawal symptoms, but certain psychological dependence on the drugs may arise. There are various categories of these drugs, and they can be natural as well as synthetic. Like, for example, natural stimulants are caffeine, cocaine, crack, betel nut. If you have seen anyone getting dependent on caffeine or betel nut, you will see that those individuals, they always have a tendency to put the betel nut in their mouth, or have urge to drink coffee after a certain period of time. And if they are not getting coffee or not getting the betel nut at the, you know at a particular time, then they start feeling depressed or have anxiety issues or even feel restless. So these some symptoms can be treated as withdrawal symptoms or physical dependence or psychological dependence on the drug. The synthetic stimulant is amphetamine, and it is also known as PP pills. So we will be studying in details about these anti-sleep pills as well, which are the amphetamines. Let's look into the caffeine at first. First of all, it is a mild stimulant and is chemically known as 137 trimethylxanthine. Thine. It is xanthine. Now, caffeine is something which is taken from, or which is collected from the bean seeds. Bean seeds can be coffee, arabica, or theobroma, ca- cacao, or any other type of cocoa which is cultivated in any part of the world. Thea sinensis is the tea leaves. Even it can cause the same effect, or the effect of dependence on the caffeine in some form. Caffeine is white crystalline, slightly bitter alkaloid and is commonly taken as a beverage in tea, coffee, cocoa drinks, or chocolate bars. It is here, it should be, it is used as cardiac and respiratory stimulant. It is also used to treat headache at times, and sometimes the individuals have harmful effects like anxiety, irritability, sometimes diarrhea, indigestion, arrhythmia, and arrhythmia is an irregular heartbeat condition in an individual, and um, certain individuals, they have very higher extent of secondary disease, like the pancreatic and renal problems, and sometimes even stomach ulcers, because of continuous consumption of caffeine and caffeine products. Now, the withdrawal symptoms are not many, but still few of the individuals, they show the same symptoms which we have already discussed about in the overall symptoms over there. The withdrawal symptoms like anxiety and lethargy will be there, or desire to have the coffee or tea will be there for a certain period of time. Now, this dependence can be controlled if the individual stays little alert and thinks that they are not supposed to have it anymore. So in that way it can be controlled. Now, the next product, you have an idea that there are different type of coffee beans, and they have to be grinded in order to form the coffee powder, which is intaken and which has highest some amount of caffeine within it. Even tea leaves also have the same product or same type of um, caffeine product within it. Next is cocaine. It is benzoyl methylecgonine, and it is extracted from Erythroxylon cocoa or coca. Now, this cocaine is actually extracted from dried leaves and young twigs of Erythroxylon coca, which is a kind of plant. And from there, the white crystalline bitter powder is taken, and this powder can be consumed directly with the help of, is actually inhaled, this crystalline white powder, and it is a kind of vasoconstrictor and is used as anesthetic agent. It causes or hampers the central nervous stimulant or central nervous system, and as because it is a stimulant of central nervous system, it increases the mental alertness and physical strength in an individual. It suddenly makes an individual feel very happy and fine or very healthy, and the feeling of healthiness can be retained for a prolonged period of time. If an individual is consuming this drug, cocaine, then they will be active for a very long period of time, and they will not get tired at all. They will not sleep, they will not have any appetite for food, and they will be continuously excited and will be capable of performing any work continuously for many many times without any stop. So the individual's work efficiency is said to increase, but again, the because of continuous convulsions and headache and respiratory problem, as because the individual is not going to sleep, they may even die because of consumption of cocaine. So in if you have seen this plant, this is the plant of cocaine, and the dried fruits and flowers inflorescence is actually used as, or it is used to, make the white crystalline bitter powder of cocaine. Now, what about betel nut? Betel nut is a very common plant, which is Erica catechu. Please underline it, and you should be aware about it. It is chewed, and people eat it along with betel leaf, right? And it is a central nervous system stimulant. It produces red tannin, and the ones who consume it, their teeth, it turns out to be red, and it is also not good for health. Sometimes it has a very strong aroma, and it can cause dizziness to some individuals, but generally it is something which is not to be consumed. It has a small amount of caffeine within it, and because of it, individual may turn to be addicted to the betel nut. Next is crack. It is a highly potent smokable kind of cocaine derivative, and is um, used in the powdered form, the way, like, it is completely inhaled in the similar way, the way it is kept over there in the diagram. The individuals can have the feeling of ecstasy just after consuming it. Within 10 seconds, the feeling can be experienced. There is very high dependence on this drug if anyone is consuming it. It is also known as one of the most addictive drugs in case of any kind of cannabis stimulants, and crack can cause various complications in an individual. Now, once the individual is getting addicted to this crack, the individual will have a tendency to feel the euphoria for a prolonged period of time, and as soon as they come down to the normal level, again they will consume it. And the feeling can be only felt for 5 to 10 minutes initially, and later on, maybe the time period will decrease because of excessive use. Now, the ill effects are very important because they this can cause paralysis in an individual, mental problems, or nasopharyngeal damage, and ultimately the death of an individual can occur because of getting addicted to crack. And that's why this is one of the most dangerous kind of stimulants which can be used by any of the addicts. The last category is of amphetamines, and they are also known as, they are synthetic drugs, so they have very high content of stimulant within it. And they are very strong central nervous system stimulants and produce a increased feeling of alertness, self confidence, and excitement in an individual. Now, because of consumption of amphetamines, an individual becomes mentally and physically enhanced in any kind of behavior. So, the performance of an individual is increased or heightened when they are consuming the amphetamines because they are stimulants. And uh, if they are synthetic stimulants, so the content of stimulant matter will be, or active matter will be maximum in case of the amphetamines. They impair the judgment of an individual, and generally it is not to be used, but it is used in case of some of the medical conditions for relieving cold and asthma. High doses of amphetamines can cause sleeplessness and may lead to mental confusion in an individual. Some of the individuals, they even start feeling nauseatic and um, start vomiting. So these are some of the important types of stimulants, and synthetic stimulants as well as natural stimulants. These are not to be consumed because they have very harsh effect on the body, especially on our nervous system.